If you operate within a micro niche, it's more important than ever that you have crystal clear clarity around the way that you describe what it is you do and who you do it for. In today's showcase, I'm going to run through a project that we've just completed for a client that operates within a micro niche in the plumbing industry. We're going to talk about some of the strategy behind his campaign, and importantly, we're going to discuss some of the things that you guys should be considering if you are in a situation where you do operate within a very unique industry or a micro niche within an industry that doesn't have a lot of general information about it available, and people are coming to you for information. Stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm Matt from Tradie Web Guys, and before we get started on this, please do us a favor, go and smash that subscribe button or ring the bell so that you get notified of our upcoming videos. We're putting a lot of this content out there because we want to educate you guys about some of the common things that we see in relation to websites, marketing, plumbing, building, electrical, just general trade industry. So if you are a tradesperson or you're a contractor, this is definitely the right place for you. So hit that subscribe button and keep in the loop for our upcoming videos. So I'm coming at you today with a case study for a project that we are about to launch, and I'm going to take you on a bit of a journey here because I want you guys to understand the thought process behind these campaigns, so you can put yourself in the similar situation in relation to where this client came from and what they're trying to achieve. I'm going to start way back on the clean slate here and talk about how this conversation began with the client. This is a micro niche within the plumbing industry. It's a niche called pipe relining, and essentially pipe relining is a technology that plumbers use to repair drains from the inside. So as you can imagine, it's quite a specific vertical. It's a lot more niche than just your general plumber. Now that is by no means necessarily a bad thing. In fact, in a lot of instances, it's a great thing because it really enables you to plant that flag as the expert within that vertical, which is a far less competitive space than general plumbing. So if you are considering niching into something, there are definitely some serendipities in doing that. Although you do have to make sure that you have your marketing dialed in, because although there is less people looking for that service, inevitably, if they do, you do have a better chance of showing up. Initial scope for this project was inquiries and traffic. So straight away, the conversation was not about the website. It was about marketing. It was about lead generation, and it was about building and improving on the inquiries they're getting for this division of their business. So when we put pen to paper on the strategic side of this project, it was always about, okay, well, we know this is going to be a marketing client, so we need to deploy things onto the website that's going to facilitate the successful outcome of his marketing campaign. So the marketing campaign is made up of a number of different moving parts. There's the website itself, there's content creation, there's search engine optimization, Google ads, and probably looking forward, there's going to be some email marketing and perhaps social, which are going to integrate into the dynamic. But initially, what was the important thing for us is we needed to make sure that in relation to his SEO, the website had been built correctly and the content had been written correctly to facilitate the search engines, what people are typing into the search engines to for him to show up. And then on the Google Ads side of things, we wanted to make sure that we had some landing pages that have been built, which we could use to generate that traffic, and then furthermore, nurture them through funnels. And we are doing that through our amazing new technology, which is called the Hub. And you can head across to tradiewebguys.com.au and you can search for the Hub there, and you will be able to see how cool that piece of tech is. It's a full sales and marketing CRM. It's very exciting. So going back into the actual website itself, he did have an existing website, and in truth, the website itself wasn't that bad, but it didn't tick a lot of the boxes that we wanted to have in place in relation to making the marketing program roll out the best it could. So I'm going to jump across into the old website right now. This is it here. And as you can see, it's not too bad. I mean, I've definitely seen a lot worse. Some of the things that, we definitely wanted to clear up were the navigation, the lack of, the wasted space above the fold, stock images, some of the messaging, so on and so forth. And as you can see, the site itself isn't too bad. although it doesn't actually respond very well to mobile devices, which was a big flag, whereas what I'm going to show you on the new website is fully responsive design. So that means essentially you can be looking at it from whatever device you're on and it will scale accordingly. So they did have a lot of things here. They had a lot of content which looked a little bit cluttered, to be honest. And we rebuilt this homepage. I'm just going to jump across to the new homepage and show you what that looks like now. So we've cleaned up the messaging right here. We've also made all the phone numbers click to call, and we've cleaned up the navigation. And in doing that, at the same time, we've also gone through and we've recreated service pages for his for the various services that he offers as part of this business. Now, the reason that's important is because you want to make sure that when people are searching for a product or a service, that they're getting information that's relevant to them. And if you have a situation where you've got a website which have all of your services on the one page, it can be a little confusing. I suppose there are right and wrong ways to go about this, and some people might argue that with a highly niched business, then all that content could potentially live on the one page. And in truth, there may be some benefit to that, but the reality is, in order to really dial in some of the keywords that we want to do as part of the ongoing campaign, we wanted to drive them to specific pages. Every page we've written here has been professionally copywritten, and we've broken down some of his location pages and things like that as well, which will be updated as part of his ongoing campaign. It's really important when we rebuild a website that we want to make sure we don't lose any of the existing search engine ranking, any of their SEO. So it's important that we have a lot of things in place to make sure that that doesn't happen when we flick the switch and we jump from the old site across to the new site. We want to make sure that the search bar doesn't drop, okay? Scrolling down here, I'm going to take you through a few things. First of all, client has been fantastic with giving us these great photos. And this is really common as well, guys. We see that a lot of businesses today actually are quite proactive when it comes to taking photographs. A lot of you guys are doing that for things like compliance, like in the instance where you might be installing a hot water heater and you rock up to a job and you're putting a heater in, and then the client calls out and says, hey, you guys came and scratched all my cladding. They can go check their project management software and often say, well, no, actually those scratches already existed. Here's the photos to prove it before we did the job. A lot of you guys are doing that, and that's fantastic. The spin that I'd like you to put on looking forward on capturing imagery is, well, how can we use photos from a marketing perspective, not just a compliance perspective, okay? So we're going to put some training out on that soon. You can keep an eye out for that. And if you're not in our Facebook group, head across to Facebook and search The Site Shed. That's our business podcast. The link to that is right here, thesiteshed.com. And you can find it on Facebook as well. But essentially, capturing imagery is really important. As you can see, this is a fantastic photo. You can't make this up. That's his team. They are doing the install. They're in their uniforms. Whereas if I jump back to the existing site, it's just a stock image of a house. So it really does make a big effort. And I would say to you guys, just get in the habit of doing it now, because regardless of whether or not you use them straight away, if you don't have them, you can never use them. And if you do have them at some point, you may wish to. So just get in the habit of capturing them, because it will serve you at some point, no doubt. We've got some nice testimonials right up here above the fold. So that was by design. We're trying to build social proof here. And then a lot of people with this product, they'd be going, pipe relining, what is it again? So we wanted to answer that question as soon as we could. And so when we scroll down here, there's a clearly defined, it talks about what it is, and it gives a beautiful visual representation here in this awesome little image of what the product looks like before, or what the pipe looked like before, and what it looks like after. So these are the kind of things that you really want to dial in on your website, and you really want to communicate, because it makes a huge difference when people actually can say, no, that's exactly what we want. So as we scroll down here, there's some general content. Again, a lot of this stuff, all the photographs are his. Again, credit to the client for providing these. He's been fantastic with that. We dive a little bit more into specific services, again, with photos that are relevant to those services, some video content, some training for social proof. They work with one of the largest training supply businesses within the world, actually, but they also have a very intricate training process out of Germany, which those guys went and did their training out, which is a great thing to showcase because it really does prove that you know what you're doing or that you're qualified to do it. Again, more customer reviews, some photographs, and then as we scroll down to the footer here, we've really cleaned up the footer. Again, we've made it really obvious, and we can link to his plumbing website. So if anyone wants a plumber as well, they can get access to that through this website. So the things that I really want to talk about beyond this, I suppose, speak more to, looking forward with this campaign, what we are going to be working on to help him improve his search engine position, but most importantly, improve the conversations he's having with his leads. So we're trying to address and answer a lot of the problems and a lot of the questions, a lot of apprehensions and things like that his potential customers may be having with him when they come to the website, so that when he is actually having their phone conversation with them, he's having conversations about things that they already understand, and they kind of move themselves further down the sales cycle. Guys, this is the great way that you can use content. It's about educating, it's about nurturing, and it's about helping your customers understand what it is you do and how that might relate to the project that they have, which they're calling you for. So we really wanted to capture and showcase a lot more of his reviews and his testimonials. So we've got these cool little features on here which updates through plugins and whatnot, which showcase some of those things, and you'll see that littered throughout the sites. And then we've also got an FAQs page, and the FAQs page is also a great way that you can answer a lot of questions that people might have in relation to your product or service. Now, if we head across to the contact page, you're going to see things like a Google Map listing, which is one of the things that we are going to be optimizing, and we do use for our search engine optimization programs. That's got a very good local SEO strategy tied into it, and it's quite effective for small business. And if you don't have a Google My Business page, you can go and claim that. They actually don't cost you anything. You just head across to business.google.com and you can actually register your own page, and it's a great way to help build your local SEO. Contact details, of course, a way that customers can reach out through sending in a form, so on and so forth. So this is kind of like a version 1.0, if you will, of this client's new website. And then there'll be lots of things that we'll be optimizing as a result of running tests that relate to conversion and things like that on the site that might change looking forward. But essentially, at the crux of it here is we want to make sure that when people get to this site through lead generation, whether that's cold or warm, that they understand what the service is, they understand what the next steps are, and they understand that this is the business that can help them get that result. And then we make it really easy for them to get in contact with them. And then, of course, looking forward off the back of it, we're in a position there where we can say, okay, well, now we can speak to these customers or these leads through things like email marketing and nurture campaigns and just being useful, relevant, recent, and frequent. And all that is a slightly different conversation, but the position, I suppose, that we're trying to put the client in, and the position that we try and put all of our clients in, is in a position of power in relation to now the foundation is built. Well, now we can do all these things. But until we have that structure built initially, then it makes it very difficult. So anyway, folks, that's enough from me. I hope that was useful to you. Again, if there's anything that you would like to discuss in relation to anything you've seen here that might relate to your position or your business, then head across to tradiewebguys.com.au. We only work with trade and contracting businesses. We work with marketing, websites, and business CRM, and that is it pretty much. So if any of those things appeal to you, then we look forward to having a chat with you. Again, head across to thesiteshed.com to follow the podcast. There's over 300 recorded episodes there, and we're in the top 5 business trade podcasts on the planet, so you will definitely get some great value there. All the links to that are going to be below, so make sure you go check that out. I look forward to speaking to you in the future.